Hey guys, Coach Pete with academicrecruits.com coming to you today to talk to underclassmen about what you can do to help yourself. College coaches can't contact you until June 15th after your sophomore year. So if you're going into your freshman or sophomore year and you're trying to get a head start on the recruiting process, there's very little you can do in terms of making college coaches contact you because it's just flat against the rules. So a couple things you can do. One, we've talked about before. Work on your game. Make 500 shots a day. Work on your handle. Get in the weight room. Try to increase your quickness through plyometrics and a variety of other agility drills, the ladders and things like that. Okay. Find pickup games where you're the worst player on the court and play hard. That's ultimately the best way to improve, is playing a lot of basketball against people who are better than you are and more athletic than you are. So that's number one. Number two, take care of business in the classroom. Okay, in middle school, you may have just wanted to pass your classes to stay eligible. In high school, it's time to start shooting for A's. You want to try to be valedictorian if you can. A couple reasons why. One, the better your grades are, the more doors will open for you. Okay, there are a lot of schools, D1 and D3 especially, that can only recruit kids who have high grades. Okay, you don't want to close those doors, especially because graduates from a lot of those schools, Stanford, Harvard, so on and so forth, graduates from a lot of those schools have a pretty good life trajectory moving forward. So you don't want to close those doors. Okay, second, you don't want to put yourself in a position where you have shaky enough GPA where you have to make a 1 million on the SAT just to be D1 eligible. And a lot of kids put themselves in that position by not paying attention and not doing their work early, by studying and trying to make good grades freshman and sophomore year. And finally, keep in mind, for high school kids, it's very hard to get a full basketball scholarship to D2. But if you're a great student, they get you $5 grand for basketball, 12 grand for academics, and $5 grand for Pell, and suddenly you're almost going to school for free. So make sure that your grades are outstanding. Now, in terms of getting college coaches' attention, they can't contact you, but you can contact them, okay? Which means that you can invite them to come see you play. Now, I wouldn't do that until you're on the varsity team. Don't invite a college coach to come to your JV game. Maybe that goes without saying. But when you're on the varsity team, invite college coaches to come see you play. They can't reply to your email, okay, but they can answer the phone if you call, and they certainly can read your email. So if you email them with clips to pique their interest and send them a high school schedule and invite them to come see you play, some of those coaches are going to take you up on that offer if they think you're good enough based on the clips, okay? Now, after the season, you need to reach out to college coaches after you've played varsity again. Like if you play varsity as a freshman or sophomore, it's okay to start doing this. Reach out to coaches in the spring to inquire about camp and elite camp. That's a loophole. They can contact you if you're asking them about camp or elite camp. So spring of your freshman year if you played varsity as a freshman, spring of your sophomore year if you played varsity as a sophomore. Reach out to these schools and ask them, do you have an elite camp or a camp that I can attend? Then they're allowed to reply to your email and talk to you a little bit, as long as the subject matter stays primarily on camp or elite camp. This way you can find out where you stand. You can get feedback. You can find out what you need to improve on. You might go to an elite camp as a freshman or sophomore and have a college coach decide that he loves you, and you might wind up with a scholarship out of the situation. That doesn't happen most of the time, but if you're on campus for camp or elite camp, they're allowed to talk to you on an unlimited basis, okay? And then the other thing to remember is your AAU coach or your high school coach can call or email a college coach at any time, and the college coach can reply to them. So if you have concerns that you want to get some feedback from a college coach, you know they can't answer your email unless it's on the subject of camp or elite camp, well, you might ask your high school coach to do it instead. Or you might ask your AAU coach to do it instead, because they can have a back and forth dialogue with a college coach at any time, not just after June 15th of your sophomore year. So email me if you have any questions, Coach Pete at academicrecruits.com. Hope those pointers are somewhat helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Monday. Thanks.